Hello!
Welcome to Waste Not Wednesday, where we take old junk that people don't want that we get for free or thrifted very cheap, and we turn it into cute home decor that you can decorate with or that you can sell if you're a reseller and you have a space to resell online. If you're new, go ahead and hit subscribe and notifications so you never miss a video. We go live every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time with our Waste Not Wednesday. And then Saturday you can watch our thrift hauls at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So, why don't you tell me what we're doing?
So we have this old mirror and it had some fun router detail along the inside, but it's pretty plain along this outside edge. Let me bring the camera down so you can see. So you can see what we're adding here. These are the IOD molds with the IOD paper clay, and we're just molding those up. We've got a few glued on already because we're going to be doing quite a few of these. And then we're kind of taking this plain, it would have been okay if we'd have painted it, but it's kind of plain the way it is, and it's got some damage on it too. And we're going to do a transfer on that, but we're going to dress it up a little and give it some more excitement, and hopefully it looks cool when we're all done.
Yeah, we haven't really done a mirror like this, I don't think. We've done a lot of molds on other things, but not mirrors, which seems like the obvious choice because a lot of your really old antique mirrors have them on there. But if you guys have ever tried to find an antique mirror in good shape, and they're pretty expensive even when they're falling apart. So,
well, you remember that mirror I repaired, was it a couple weeks ago now, or was it last week?
So that was broken too. We had to fix it to make it better.
So that's kind of the goal here.
Can you put them in so I can do like a start to finish mold so that way we can show them what we're doing? If you want to use the products that we have today, you can go to jamirayvintage.com and we sell them all there.
All right. Put what in?
I need you to take that camera, bring it close, and I'm going to show them how I make these molds, and then you can show them how we glue it on. All right, so this is an IOD mold. It has a bunch of different designs. We actually have quite a few of them here. We're going to be using 3 of these molds today because to get the look I wanted, I had to mix and match. This is wings and feathers. Now, the IOD clay is very moist. It's almost like using Play-Doh. So we keep it in a bag so that way it doesn't get dried out. If you buy paper clay from another brand or from like a craft store, chances are it's going to be a little bit more dry and you're not going to get the same easy like release that we have and easy to put in. We get a lot of questions about that, so I just want to let you know you can buy paper clay elsewhere, but this truly, I have to say, is the best. And this is the new IOD paper clay. So if you get the kind that's in a box, that's the older version. The new one comes in a plastic bag. So we've only used about 1/3 of it so far. I don't think we'll wind up using this whole thing of paper clay for this giant mirror. And it retails for about 12 bucks for one one bag of paper clay. You could probably get about 2 mirrors with one bag. So $6 in paper clay is not bad. The molds are a little bit more expensive. They're about $20 a mold, but you can use them over and over again. They're a reusable DIY product, which I love. So first things first, I'm just using an artist brush, cornstarch. This is my crafting cornstarch I don't use to bake with. And I am dusting my mold. Now, if you're using a paper clay that's drier, that's not as moist as this IOD is, then you probably you could skip this step. But because this is so moist, you're gonna wanna cornstarch it and you're gonna tap it out to get rid of the excess. You wanna say something?
Well, I was just gonna say, I'm using this Gorilla Glue. It's construction adhesive, heavy duty. It works really well to hold these molds on. We were using things like E6000, which is great. It still works really well, but we like how fast this glue sets up and how sticky it is. It's kind of
gloopy, the glue. It's kind of, take some learning curve. Now this glue we don't sell on our website, but you can pick it up at your home improvement store, or you can use Titebond Quick and Thick. Zeb, do you have a link for this that you can drop when we're not live?
I probably can make one.
All right, Zeb will look for a link. So I'm just taking my paper clay, I'm rolling it up in my hand, and I'm putting it down into the mold. Can they see this? Yeah.
Yeah, they can see it.
I'm putting this down into the mold, and I'm just pushing it into all the areas. Now I have to say, I don't mold a ton, so I'm not like a mold professional. So if you see me struggle a little bit, it's because I only do this like once a month, maybe. All right, so these are the tools that actually come with the transfer that we're gonna be using. They're pretty much unbreakable, so we save them for scraping stuff, for all kinds of things. But one of the things we love to use them for is a flat edge to help get off the excess, because these molds have what's called a micro rim. and it helps you get a nice smooth edge, and you're not wasting any clay. You'll see that even though it looks like I have just enough clay, we'll be able to pull off some clay by using this and making it nice and flat. And then that's clay you can use to make another mold. So.
Yeah. And it washes out pretty easy too. If you're worried about washing your molds, it washes right out with water in the sink. So.
Yeah, I usually just use a little IKEA scrub brush. So you'll notice I'm putting that right back into my baggie so it doesn't dry out. And here's the easiest way to demold your clay. You're gonna take the flat side, that's the back, and you're gonna put it against something that is non-stick. We get these mats at IKEA. You could also use a silicone mat or whatever. And then you're gonna push the mold and peel back, and then it's gonna come right out. Now, I did not do the stem part of this feather because I want it to look more like a leaf because it fits better in my design.
All right.
And I'm just gonna go ahead
and move the camera down so they can see what you're doing.
Oh, sorry, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this right down in here.
Oh, look, our lights.
Oh, look, there we go. And Zeb is gonna glue that on for me.
Here, I'm gonna pull it off.
Okay.
And glue it, but so this glue is pretty sticky, and I was applying it with my finger, which wasn't an issue, but now I just kind of run it gently over the top here, just like that.
And this is the wings and feathers mold, so you can see it's got angel wings on it. The next one I'm going to be using is Classic Elements. This is what you can see in the corner right here. This middle piece of here is just like the perfect corner for any frame. I feel like it works really well. It's natural looking. This is something you would find on a traditional ornate molded frame. So I'm going to use that one here. Let me go to comments real quick because I have not been.
Someone was loving on my shirt, which I get a lot of compliments on.
Yeah, we bought Zeb's shirt for $8.
It was $1 at the
NPS.
The NPS store.
Let's see. Everybody's just saying, hi, what type of clay are you guys using? We are using IOD paper clay that you can pick up at jamirayvintage.com. It is very pliable and moist and easy to get in. Cornstarch is definitely your friend with it. Could I use sculpting molds as well? I don't know what a sculpting mold is, but I would think so for sure. If you've got another mold, like even if you make your own molds, you can use the IOD clay in other molds. Just make sure that you dust them with cornstarch so that way it will release. Indy says she's in Miami. It's hot and humid. Let's see.
I got too much cornstarch.
I'm just making sure I've responded from everyone. Does your last booth tour include the mirror you did a couple weeks ago?
It's pictured in there for a moment. It's like up against the corner in that gray hut where the gray hutch is.
Oh, the big frame, yes. Yeah. If you look on my Facebook or my Instagram, you can see all the most recent pictures of our booth space. It's just Jami Ray Vintage on Facebook and Instagram, and we've got pictures in there, and you can see in the corner next to the gray hutch is that big old mirror we fixed. Let's see.
In just a second here, Jamie's going to start painting this. We got to get it painted. We'll probably have to use the heat gun so we can get it dry before it's time to go, and we're going to use some golden ticket on it today and really get it going, get it fancied up.
Would you be able to do a project like this with resin? Yes, but you would need to demold it and put it where you need it pretty quickly. And I don't know, will the resin like do these kind of details and curves as well?
So the thing about the resin is it is going to be less pliable than the paper clay is, and you have less time you can work with it. But if you get it right on the piece after you demold it, you should be able to form it to the edges and the corners and things on like this detailed routed edge here, because it's got an indent. It kind of goes up and then down, and it might be a little tricky on that.
Does it matter if the frame is wood or plastic? No, it would work fine on plastic. This adhesive that we use sticks, it's like construction adhesive, the Gorilla. Now, it's not your traditional Gorilla glue. It's Gorilla heavy duty construction adhesive. It sticks to plastic, gutters, concrete, trim, fencing, tub, mirrors, wood landscaping. I mean, it sticks to everything. We used it on glass a few weeks ago when we did a Waste Not Wednesday. We made this cool like old frame and put it directly on the glass, and it stuck. So it's more about the glue you use. Oops, I need to dust that. And less about, oops, the wrong one. This one. It's less about the clay and more about the glue, because the glue is what's sticking the clay on there. And there goes my brush.
So wood glue also works really well on these because they are paper based. and it will if you put the wood glue on while they're still wet, it'll make it super strong bond. But the wood glue doesn't necessarily stick well to this, because this I think is like a foam, molded foam. It's not wood.
Yeah. So Tammy Beamy said she loved the most recent chapter of our book for the channel members. It was all about creativity. It actually took Zeb a few days to write because
I was having a creative block writing about creativity.
I don't know what's going on. Did the iPad die?
Maybe.
It's dead.
The kids have been playing with the iPads this summer, and we had no charge on the iPads this morning when we started out.
All right, well, there's that.
Here, just scooch it out of the way.
We're going to move that out of the way.
All right, so I'm going to bring you over here. We're going to show you how we glue a corner piece on. It's pretty straightforward, about the same as the other pieces. And where'd the glue go? Oh, you have it.
Thank you. I'm going to pull up the video.
All right.
So I can respond to comments. If you guys are wondering, I know that we've had a few people ask us for house updates. We've had...
Oh, wait, let me get a good chuckle in here.
We've had a few crazy days over here at the Ray house. It started with my dad was admitted into the hospital day before yesterday for some internal bleeding. So I was a little stressed thinking I was going to have to rush out there. He's 86. He has diabetes, a bad heart. He's on blood thinners, so it can be very scary. He's still not out of the woods, but he is doing much better. So that happened. And then we supposedly everything is signed off, but we're in line for closing disclosures, which apparently in the state of Utah, you have to get your closing disclosures and then you can't sign and fund for 3 more days. We were supposed to close on Monday, and we still don't even have the closing disclosures, which based off of the lender's estimation, we should have by the end of today, although they're in California, the investors. So hopefully by 6 p.m. today, we will have those closing disclosures, and then we have to wait 3 days to sign. The only little hiccup is the seller is annoyed that we weren't able to close on time on Monday, and so we are currently waiting for them to sign an extension. So
it's just like at this point we're like, you know what? It's out of our hands. We can't do any more than we've done.
Like, we're all approved. It's a Christmas miracle that we even got like the credit and income approved because we were approved on bank statements. So like, it's kind of frustrating because we worked so hard to like find an investor that would even finance us, and then we've just gone through all these steps, and now we're here at the end and it's like completely out of our control. And so the last few days have been a little bit rough. Like, I don't even think I posted on social media yesterday, not one post. I went to the dentist and had to have a filling completely redone because I had a filling failing, plus my dad in the hospital and the stuff going on with the loan.
It's been fun.
Our oldest son got a speeding ticket, and I had to go to traffic court with him for his speeding ticket. So I spent like 2 hours in traffic court yesterday. And suffice this to say that yesterday was not my favorite day of all time. I did get some laughing gas at the dentist, and that greatly improved my mood, but oh my heavens, it's been a few days. So that's the update on the house. Hopefully Saturday we'll have fabulous news for you on the house, but right now we just don't really know anything one way or the other. So.
Yep. We're hoping to sign by like Friday or Monday. We'll see. At this point, we're not holding our breath on that.
And my dad, we thought we were going to have to possibly rush down to Arizona, so I have a friend of mine that volunteered to be a power of attorney for us, but my dad is greatly improved. The internal bleeding, as far as they know, has stopped, and he is in better spirits, so hopefully everything's good with that. When you have older parents, it happens. Like, they go in and out of being in the doctor, emergency room, things like that, so it is something that's happened before, but we're always on alert. My dad's super excited. He's supposed to be coming up here the end of the month, flying in, so that way he can go over the house with us and give us his suggestions, because he was a general contractor for my whole life, so probably like 40 years. And he's also
he was all excited to come up, and now he's in the hospital.
So he's all concerned that maybe he won't be better in time to come, but I told him no worries, because we bought their plane tickets. We'll buy another set of plane tickets or change the date or whatever. Whatever it is, we'll make it work. So, oh, thanks, Debbie. Denise says she was at the dentist yesterday and has to go back today. I'm sorry. Luckily, everything's good. I didn't wear my braces last night because my mouth was still a little sore, but I woke up this morning and it was feeling better. The little boys, Jack and Redrick, have to go in next week. Jack had a tooth that died, and it was
He had
actually
a real deep cavity.
yeah, he had a real deep cavity, and he's got to go do
take.
that. So that's my joy next week. And then in a week and a half, I'm headed off to girls camp with about 200 girls ages 12 to 18, and I'm in charge with the other members of leadership in putting on this girls camp. So there's a few things going on. Oh, and tonight we have the water activity with all the youth of our area. We have a dunk tank. I'm in charge of snow cones.
All right, start painting that. You can go
I
from
can talk and
here
paint.
over to like here
Okay.
on the painting.
All right, can you give me a butter knife, sweetie?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the Insider brush. This is one of the new DIY synthetic brushes. Denise says, darn, you have so much going on. Yeah, it's an interesting life. We also are working on getting our stencils. Caitlin has been working very tirelessly getting the website set up so that way we can wholesale our stencils. So we'll have that going, and I have another exciting thing in the works, kind of along those similar lines with a new product coming out. So I'm working on that, and I have to get my fall line designed this week. So in between all that, I have to figure out how to be creative. If you're in the channel membership group, you got our chapter on creativity. So I will be making a list of all the things I have to do so I can set that aside and actually work on the things I need to be creative with, which is how I get a lot of things done when I need to figure out things creatively. Because sometimes it's hard to meet my creative deadlines where I'm designing stuff when I have a lot of ticky-tacky details going on in my life. Okay, so I'm using Apothecary, but this is not going to be the finished product. We're going to use Apothecary on this, and then we're going to accent with Golden Ticket. We get asked a lot to use Golden Ticket, and I thought this would be a fun project. Dude, I'm putting more gold in my retail space. If you guys have been following along with us, you've seen that I've kind of redesigned how I'm decorating it. It's a little bit difficult to paint these when they're not quite dry, so you need to be careful not to push too hard because the clay is still soft for a few hours.
And you could totally wait for it to dry out, but we're trying to get it done on the video for you. All right, so one more.
Mrs. Yvonne Lee, you are correct. House buying can be a lot crazier than it's been. The only thing that's been crazy, really the financing hasn't been too bad because delays happen all the time. It's just that the real estate market is so dog eat dog right now. Like, we're lucky that we even got a house. That's the thing that's scary, is that maybe the seller will pull back and take a higher offer from somebody else. And then there's really not a whole lot else out there on the market where we live, not of that kind of a house.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's stressful. I know the loan will go through eventually.
Yeah, we're good on that.
We just, you know how when you're excited about something, you want to get started? We've had a hard time like focusing on anything else because all we want to do is just get in this house and get started working on it.
We've been like, what are we going to do for the project today?
Yeah, I know. We're trying not to buy too much stuff because we know that once we get the house that we'll have so much content working on that and doing fixers and DIYs and things on that. Thank you, Charlotte. My dad's a great guy. He's gone through a lot. It's been how many years since he had open heart surgery? Like 20 years?
Yeah, it was right. It was like
I was
a year before I met
when
you.
he had open heart surgery. That was pretty scary, and he had quadruple bypass, and so we didn't know how long he'd live after that, and he's been here for 20 years, so I'll take any time I can get. All right, paint this in here. Okay. How are you doing over there, Zeb?
I gotta make one more of these.
You can see why we started this before we went live, because it does take a little bit of time to make the molds. It's a little tedious, but you can work on a mirror like this in about 30 to 45 minutes. You can have all the molds done, if that's all you're doing. Focus on it. So when we're all said and done, how much clay are we gonna have left over? Half of a thing?
No, I think we might actually be close, just because I've got to do that other corner over there.
Oh, we might use the whole pack.
Well, no, but we might have like a quarter of it left.
Yeah. So I like to take my brush. I like the Insider because it's got a little tip on it, and I like to push that clay paint because I'm using Apothecary, which is a DIY clay paint, and I like to push it up underneath the mold. So that way it kind of seals that edge and you don't get that weird, I just added this to a mirror. It looks like it's always been there kind of a situation. I'm just tapping so lightly, getting in all the cracks.
Oh, and on top of everything else, my mom was here to visit. She came to help my sister buy a wedding dress and came up and visited us for a while. My sister lives about 2.5 hours south of us here in Utah. So we had her as company during all of this too, which was great. She's fun and played with the kids and had a good time. But
if you're on a budget, you can actually buy putty and make your own molds off of existing furniture, or you might be able to find molds less expensive. But I will say this. This is my my little plug for IOD. They have taken a long time to cultivate and design their molds, and every now and then you'll find them cheaper on like whatever website, but they're not actually IOD. They're like another color. They're not labeled IOD. And what that is they've taken their intellectual property and they have knocked them off, and they have stole from them. So I would ask that if you do find molds that you want to use, please do not use those that have been knocked off from IOD. So if they look exactly like these molds, only they're not this color,
they don't have this little
designs,
stamp in
please
here.
do not buy them, because essentially you're buying stolen goods. I hate to say it that way, but it is what it is. But there are other designs that you could probably find out there for less expensive. But if you're looking for these specific designs, please only buy IOD ones, so that way you're not buying something that they've stole from them. It's sad that that's the way it is, but on a regular basis, they have to go to these online companies and let them know, hey, company has knocked this off from us, you need to take it off your website. And then that takes away from their family time and their time to design them. We're all just trying to make a living.
And their livelihood.
Yeah, for sure. And you can start off with one mold, do a mirror, make some money, do a few mirrors, and then buy more. You don't have to buy every single product right away. I think sometimes people get caught up thinking they need all of them, you know? You can just start little by little. And then once you have them, they last forever. They're really good quality. Oh, that's what Winnebago Lakefly said. IOD are the best built, tough to last for over and over. Yeah, their molds are really well made, and their stamps too. I felt like I was gonna rip a stamp a time or two because I was pulling on it so much, and they have
no issues.
Yep.
All right. So
Renee sneaking on to watch. My sister Renee is on. Everybody say hi to Renee. Not supposed to be watching, little stinker.
She's at work.
She's at work. She's been going through this with my dad too. Me and all my sisters are really close, so we have ongoing conversations through text message, and we use an app called Marco Polo where we send each other videos back and forth and keep posted. We all kind of live, well, they don't live too far apart, but I'm the one that lives far away.
Well, your sister Deborah is actually up here visiting Caitlin.
Lisa says she has a tiny silicone mold that is pink. Yeah, you can use the IOD clay in those pink molds as well. You can use other clay too, it's just not as user-friendly. If you're going to be using a lot of, or you can use resin. I don't know, do you think the cost of resin is less expensive? I haven't ever clocked it out.
The resin goes a long way because you basically
but you can mess it up really easy.
You basically have 32 ounces in like the small thing of resin. So however many ounces these are, I mean, it's quite a bit.
I think the biggest trick when you're trying to like make money off of this is finding the items for cheap or free. Like this ginormous mirror here, it's probably what, 3.5 feet, Zip?
It's 3 feet.
3 feet? It was $10. So you have to find it at the right price. Otherwise, yeah, you're not gonna have money for products to fix it up with. I usually don't pay over $10 for a mirror. Maybe 15 if it's real.
We have that one that's 45 out there.
Oh, okay, yeah, but that one's like ginormous and worth $300 painted, so that's another story. Which we better get it painted or it's gonna break.
I know, we gotta get that thing done before we break it.
Nothing is safe in our garage.
And which ones were you using for the center?
What?
Oh, it's over here on this mold. Okay.
Have I ever used kids' air dryable clay in the molds? I don't know. Have you? No.
Nope, I haven't. But
we've used air dried clay for other things. What did we use it for? Oh, we made.
I'm sure it
no,
would
we
probably...
made those ornaments with air dried clay. Remember?
Yeah.
And they broke. They were a big pain in the bum.
I'm sure if you glued them on though, like while they were still wet, you might have better success with it.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of success with that air dried clay we used over Christmas, but we made it work. I'm excited that they have this clay now because I'll be making my own Christmas ornaments. Well, either that or I'll be finishing a house. But I'll probably be using this clay for my own consistency.
I'm hoping we're.
All right, can you get the?
We're still optimistic. We're still planning like we've got it, like it's ours. Like we haven't veered away
as
from
far
that.
as the loan goes, it's done. And I feel like there's been so many miracles that have happened so far that I just, you know, Heavenly Father's just teaching us, be patient, Jamie. Be patient. Patience is not my virtue. It's not my virtue I'm good at. Okay, can you grab the heat gun and let's just dry this and we can finish molding in a minute?
I just need to do this one though.
Okay.
I'm on my last one. You still got to paint around the corner.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Lisa. Back pain is the worst. Seb's mom has had back pain her entire life. It's got better, it's got worse. There's been times she couldn't get out of bed. She's been on some heavy pain meds before that were horrible, so then she just had to deal with the pain, and that was no good. That is a hard thing when your body doesn't do what you want it to do.
All right, you can see what I'm doing over here. Okay. So before we went and did this, I measured the centers before we glued everything on. So I measured center over here and over there and at these 2 points. Because, you know, we like to eyeball things, but it was too far to eyeball. Too much distance.
Renee is funny like her sister. Renee is really funny. Renee is pretty chill. We all have our own personalities. My sister Karen, I love her. She's a little bit high-strung. She could carry a conversation on with anybody, even if they weren't responding. My sister Deborah is like very organized and like analytical. So sometimes she has a hard time when things just don't make sense the way she thinks that they should. And I am like chill, but I also have ADD. So I bounce around all over the place and wear people out. And then Renee, she's just kind of laid back.
I love Renee's sarcasm.
Renee's really funny. She sometimes gets grumpy. You don't want to wake her up. Like if she needs her rest, don't mess with her. She's pretty good. But we all get along, even though we're all super different. And we're all really good about just saying how it is, so that way we don't have to dance around the issues. I feel like a lot of family problems can be solved if you just call it the way that it is.
All right, I'm going to heat gun that.
Okay. I'm just putting on another kind of thin coat, even though it's not dry all the way. What did you say about your older sister? I said Deborah. Deborah's on here. Deborah Reynolds, that's my sister. I said she's analytical and she has a hard time when things don't make sense to her. She's also, my sister Deborah is also really good. Like if you have a project, she's your girl, man. She's on it. She will organize it and she will stick with it till she's done. Her daughters are very much that way. That's why Caitlin's so good. Okay. I'm missing a few spots here.
All right, heat gunning this so we can get it dry before we gotta go and get the golden ticket on
We
it.
don't suggest heat gunning stuff. We just have to do it when we're live. Oh, hold on, I missed a few spots. Okay, go ahead and heat gun that.
Are you gonna keep painting around the corner?
Sure, I can.
Oh shoot, you painted here and I don't have a corner on
Well,
it.
you can totally put a mold over that.
All right. Well, no, not now though, because I'll dry it out and put a
Try it
mold
out
on
and put
it.
a mold there. We missed a spot. It happens.
Yeah, we usually miss lots of spots, and on the second coat or when we're finishing doing like the distressing, that's when we'll catch it.
Yeah, and then don't worry, we'll get the paint off the mirror before we put the transfer on. Well, we're good. We have 28 more minutes. So
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good on time. The project's coming along.
we'll bring them in close. Let me bring them in close so they can see that detail. All right, guys. Oops. Okay. So the molds we have been using are the fleur-de-lis. I use just this one little spot in here. The classic elements, we use this big piece in here. And then the wings and feathers, we use this one. Now you don't have to use 3 molds on every mirror. Oh, careful, it's smoking.
It's just steam.
Okay. I just really love the way this looks blended together because I wanted to create something. You can kind of see that this design right here looks like it goes with this trim in here. And that's really the goal. I shouldn't say I hate it, but I really don't like it when people just stick a bunch of molds together and it doesn't look correct. It just looks like there's molds that they just slapped on something. But this to me looks like a design that may have already been on here. All right,
so it's not actually smoking.
It's
like I got some glue on the gun at some point the other day with a project, and that's what's
go
smoking.
kind of upwards this way, because this is where I need to golden ticket it. All right, let's check questions while we're drying here. And I'll paint left-handed. The mirror is looking really beautiful. Let's see.
So it's okay that she painted that. The glue will stick to that great. No big issue. We'll just have to come back over.
Vanda says she was about to mention the bottom corner.
All right, you gotta step away from the heat though. Paint over there. Paint over on that side.
Deborah says we usually just say it's time for a hot fudge sundae. Deborah, did you know that I have Saunders hot fudge? You need to come over for a hot fudge sundae before you leave town. I feel like we've earned one. We've earned a hot fudge sundae. It's been a week for all of us sisters. Deborah lives with my mom and dad, and all this went down right after she left town to come up here and visit. So it's hard for her because she's the good big sister that takes care of them and is there and kind of helps them out. I mean, they mostly can do things for themselves, but it's nice to have boots on the ground to help things out. And Deborah's been up here. It's been a little hard on her. All right. You got that about dry?
Yeah, just about.
If you wait till your molds are all the way dry, you don't have to pounce it the way that I'm doing it. You just brush it on there. But I'm trying to be soft.
I think we've got it dry enough. You could do some golden ticket. I'm going to do another mold in this corner.
You do that. I'm going to finish painting just this little corner here. And you'll notice, see, I'm getting up underneath the molds. And then I just kind of come back and pull that paint off. So the detail gets shown off. And sometimes when you put it on like this, it crackles when it gets a little thick. And I like that even better. Okay, golden ticket time. Okay, so golden ticket is a liquid patina. It has a sealer all in one, and it's kind of translucent. So if you paint it on its own, you're not gonna see the gold as much. So you kind of have to paint it over another color. I'm just using one of my, this is the favorite brush from the Turquoise Iris. This is a Paint Pixie brush we carry on our website. And I'm just gonna use this to kind of paint this gold on the details. Deb, you wanna bring that in so they can see? Mm-hmm. And you can still see the apothecary underneath, which is why the translucent is so fun. And a little bit of golden ticket goes a long way. This little container is like $33. It's literally liquid gold, but it's so thin that it just doesn't take much for a project. I'll use it one golden ticket for months because I just use it to accent with. You know what? Could you go get me a bigger brush? I thought I was gonna need more detail, but I don't. It's gonna take me forever with this little brush.
Yep.
Now this is not water soluble the way that the paint is because it has a built-in sealer. So if you wanted to wet distress this, I would do it before you use the golden ticket. So I might wet distress where the golden ticket is not. Let's get a bigger brush. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking with peanut oil here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If you ever look at like old finishes, old world finishes, they have some that goes over the edge and it's fine. And because it's translucent, it doesn't look bad. And I'm just gonna take this, go over this detail here. And I'm just lightly going over it so some of that apothecary that's down in the cracks is coming through. If you push too hard, you'll lose that apothecary that's underneath. So this is more just like an accent. And I have it on good authority that we have some different patinas, metallics coming out very soon. So I'm excited about that. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you that, but.
Probably not. You always spill the secrets early.
I spilled the beans. We got new DIY paint colors coming out as well as new patinas and possibly a new color of stain because we have the dark and decrepit. So I'm excited about all of that. This makes me happy. I think I'm gonna do this side here too, just to kind of finish that off. That looks right to me, so I'll leave that inside unpainted. All right, you guys like that? Let me know.
People need it a little closer. I'm gonna come fly the camera down, take it off the tripod.
Okay. So you guys can see. You'll notice I'm not getting it down in the cracks. I'm just going over the tops. How about those new IOD transfers? I have it on good authority that they will have new stuff coming out, but you know IOD, they got to make sure that they got plenty of it before they start selling it because it's all crazy. So it's gonna be a hot minute, but I can tell you, I have seen it and it's good. It's so good. This fall is gonna be good because we're gonna have new paint colors coming out. We'll have the new Jami Ray Vintage stencils coming out, the new IOD. So I know you guys have been itching for some fun new stuff. But what I would say is if there's old IOD that you want, go ahead and get it because you never know what they're gonna keep.
They do discontinue things if they don't sell a lot of it. Or if everybody has it and then sales slow down, they discontinue it.
Yeah. So I took a feather and put it next to a feather here just to kind of elongate this design. And that's why I love the molds, because you really can create any look that you want with them, because you can just take one little, this is a teeny tiny little mold, and then I added another mold and another mold, and now I've created this whole kind of look here. It looks very European, and we always know that all the cool stuff, the cool old stuff comes from there. I wonder if people in Europe are like, oh, that's from America. Because in America, if you say something's from Europe, it makes it like fancier. I don't know how that works. Also, if you get the golden ticket where you don't want it, like I have a little bit that got down there, I'll just come back with Apothecary. Fix that up. All right.
Okay,
Can I have my comments?
Yes, you can. I need to, hold on though. I'll get your comments back in just a second.
We need to get this painted though so we can put that transfer on because we only have 20 minutes. So we need to hustle. What are you doing? Are you taking a picture?
Don't worry about it.
Zeb's taking a picture of me while I'm live on YouTube while I'm trying to work. Sometimes I make weird faces while I'm working. He's like, when he's taking pictures for thumbnails, he's like, smile, but not like a too big smile, but not like you're concentrating so hard.
Just pretend like you're happy.
Pretend like you're happy, because sometimes I am happy, but I'm like...
She gets super focused and her eyes get all like narrow and she's looking at stuff. All right.
What are you saying, Zeb? Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna get this corner piece on, and it will stick just fine with this construction adhesive right over the paint.
Does the IOD clay crack? Yes. So it will. So if you wanted to something not to crack, I would use the resin. In its nature, because it's clay, it will crack, which when you put it on thick, like we do with the clay paint, that will crack as well. And I love that because I want this to look like a very old, fancy, bougie French mirror, and so crack is good for me. But if you don't want crack, then just use the resin that we sell, and then you're just going to want to work very quickly after it comes out so you can mold it to the space that you want. Or it's resin, you can microwave it for like 20 seconds and it becomes pliable. I don't know if I've told you guys that before.
Yeah, the thicker the mold though, the less you can bend it.
What are we targeting? I have no idea what's going on with Renee here. Renee knows I love her. We're exactly 20 years apart. We're 20-year twins. Her oldest son and I are very close. He's like we hung out a lot when I was little, and we're so much alike. It's funny. All right, I can't golden ticket that anymore because it's not quite dry.
All right, I'm gonna put more Apothecary on.
Okay, let's finish the Apothecary, and then we can start doing the transfer. I'm gonna clean up the mirror down here.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Because the golden ticket we can do later because that's not gonna get on the mirror.
Yeah.
So okay.
Here, I'll paint this, and so we can start getting it
So
dry.
the golden ticket actually has a built-in sealer. So we will just clear wax over this. There's not really, it's a mirror, it's just decor. You could use Big Top if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna clear wax over the areas where we've got this Apothecary that's unsealed, because anywhere with golden ticket, it's done. It's liquid patina, which means it has a built-in sealer. If you were using it on furniture, then for sure you would clear wax over it for extra durability, but on home decor type items, anywhere that has a liquid patina, that's enough sealer, because it's not like you're gonna scrub your mirror, you know? Once it cures, you're good. Do I always seal the mirrors? Yeah, I seal the edges, and if it's my own mirror, like if you guys have ever seen my selfies in my round mirror, nope, I don't. I never have, because it cures and I don't care.
So on the transfer we're about to do, we don't seal over the transfers.
Yeah, we don't seal over the transfers. You could, if you were worried about it, you could take an artist brush and you could seal over that transfer. And then you would have a small halo, like where the sealer is over the mirror. But I've never had a problem. I just tell people that they can't, they have to only dry clean and then spot clean any areas on the mirror. Like you can't coat it with Windex. So, and really if you put it up on your wall, dry dusting is about all you're gonna need to do anyways. I actually am proud, if you guys have watched our outdoor makeover, if you remember we used a transfer on a side table and we sealed it with Kills Clear. And I told you I would tell you guys how it held up, and I have to say that the transfer has not peeled up at all. Now it is outside, but it's underneath the pavilion, so it doesn't get a ton of weather, but we've had a bunch of rain and stuff, and I haven't had any problems using that transfer with the Kills Clear.
And real heavy winds and dust.
Yeah. And I washed it the other day over that Kills Clear, which is an outdoor sealer, water-based, and it's been fine. Now, if you were using a more harsh sealer that was not water-based, it might peel up, but it's held up really, really well. So I would not be afraid to use a transfer on a piece of glass table that's going outside and then seal all over the top of it with Kills Clear and then put it outside because mine's held up great. Okay, what are we doing here? Next transfer, right?
Transfer, yep.
But I gotta clean that part of the mirror's not dry.
Yeah, so we'll wait for, if you want, you can start using the heat gun on it while I finish painting.
Okay, well, I'm
switch.
gonna clean the mirror in the middle.
Okay.
'Cause
We'll
the mirror
switch
has to
roles
be-
here.
The mirror has to be super, super
And
clean.
you can heat gun and I can paint.
I what?
You can use the heat gun and I can paint.
True story. All right. All right, I'm spraying this. You want your mirror to be very, very clean because you're not going to be able to really clean it after the transfer's on there, except for like a dry dust or a spot clean. And we have to put a transfer because can you see this? They probably can't see, but we'll show you before we put it on. There's a big black scratch, which is probably why this mirror was only $10, as big as it is. Okay. I love razor blades for getting paint off. Especially if that paint hasn't been sitting there too long, it'll come right off. And I would have taken the mirror out, but it's like, it's like gallery framed on the back.
Yeah, the back is all sealed up. We
So
would
I
have
don't
had to
mess with
ruin that to do it, and
Ain't nobody got time.
and then they shake around inside. They never go back in just quite right.
Yeah, so this is really the best option. We were gonna do 2 mirrors, and then I realized how involved this one was gonna be, and I was like, nope, that's not gonna happen.
So we got the mirror for 10. We've got probably
All right, we gotta
about
get this painted. Here, give me that.
we got about $8 in paper clay on it, and probably about $1 worth of paint.
It's not $1 worth of paint. It's probably about $5 worth of paint. It doesn't take much.
It doesn't seem like it's taking much paint though.
All right, I'm using the Dusty.
I don't think they can see what you're doing.
I'm just kind of clumping it on there. Sorry, guys. Can you get? Yeah, they can see what I'm doing. I'm going to town. We got to get this done faster.
But so, what will you sell this for now that we've put all
I will
this on
ask
there?
at least $95 for this mirror. It's huge, and it's got a lot of details. So we'll probably be into it for about 25 bucks. Would you say?
Well, you're putting the transfer on, so.
Oh, okay. So the transfer is 30. So maybe I'll ask 125. Because I always increase it by the price of the transfer. If I wasn't using a transfer, I would say 95, but it really has to have one because it has that damage to it. Another option, if you didn't want to use a transfer, would be to take the backing off, use a sander, and distress it with a sander, and then paint over it to make it look like an antique mirror, and then that would blend in that damage. So that's another option. We've got videos where we've done that. We actually have a new technique we want to try with paint stripper.
Yep, someone asked us to use citrus strip and bleach to see how that turns out. So we're going to do some experimenting. We have a big old pile of mirrors, and if that works out well, that's going to be much safer than using the muriatic acid.
Yeah, and it'll be fun to do like for our new house. And then we also did one where we sanded it and we used paper napkins, and that actually sold really fast. Remember, we did the paper napkins underneath the mirror after we sanded off the shiny part,
Yep.
and then we used one of the Jami vintage stencils over the top of it, and that one sold. It's actually, from that little segment, I think it's the only mirror that sold. The one with the Jami vintage stencil on it. Everything else is still there.
Yep.
transfer is going to look beautiful on this because I have done apothecary.
So it looks like someone asked, I can't find the question, but other people are answering. If you wax and then you don't like the way that ends up, or you need it to be like a stronger, like a top coat type finish, if it's a tabletop, you got to get the wax off. You're going to need to sand that back off, especially if it hasn't been very long, and then start over there. You can lightly sand and leave most of your paint finish intact and just scuff it up, but you don't want it to be like waxy. You don't want it to have that waxy feel.
Zeb, why did we not take a before picture of this mirror?
I have a before picture.
Oh, you did? Oh, good, because it was so ugly.
Well, I have kind of a before. That's what I was taking a picture of. I'm like, oh, we better get some of this before it all gets painted so people can see.
Right. Okay, I kind of slopped that on there. You can see that the dusty is kind of like a fast and dirty way to get it all in there. I'm going to come back with this insider, though, and make sure it's down in all the cracks.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this edge here so you can clean that mirror.
Okay.
And then we can get the transfer on there.
All right, we're almost done, guys. Well, at least done with what we're gonna show you. We can finish up the golden ticket in a little bit. Like literally, it'll take 1/100th of a container of golden ticket to do this entire mirror.
You may want to baggy up that brush though.
Yeah. So we're not going to get back to something right away. We'll use tin foil, or I'll just take like a Ziploc bag, especially the golden ticket because it has a built-in sealer. I don't want it to ruin my brushes. All right, let's clean this. Will there be any distressing? Yes, we will go ahead and gently distress some of these apothecary areas, and that's about it. I want it to not be like overly rusted because it's kind of an elegant look. Don't burn my finger. We could have taped the mirror off too. But you know us. We don't use painter's tape.
Did the peacock mirror sell?
Did the peacock mirror sell? Which peacock mirror?
I don't know.
I don't know. If you watch our latest video, you can see what's still in the shop. We did sell, if you guys watched our last video, we had those two girls in the gold frame. That and the gold unicorn sold yesterday, which yesterday is the first day our shop is open in the week. And it's funny because that picture has been in the shop with the two little girls for a few weeks, but it was kind of buried. And then we moved it somewhere else and people were dying over it. It is a really pretty picture. And that's something I think I picked it up for under $10 at
I think it was
$8, and I sold it for $70, and I didn't do anything to it. All right, Deb, I need to. Oh, that's scraped on there. Hold on.
Yeah, that's actually stuck on.
That's like splattered. We have to finish on time because I got to get to the gym. I did not wake up at the appropriate
We got 9
hour.
minutes to get this transfer on here.
We got this, Boo. All right, stop that. We're good.
All right.
I shouldn't be doing that. I should spray it on the thing first, but. All right, would you grab paper towel?
Yeah. You need me to come and chase behind you?
Yeah, just make sure that I've got all the flecks of paint. That's the thing. It's like you think you get it all off, and then there's like a little smudging of paint.
You want it to be dry too before you put your transfers on.
Rachel says, I won't tape off mirrors either. I'd rather complain that it takes too long to get the paint off. True. Actually, I feel like you still get paint underneath, and then you're still cleaning up that paint.
Yeah,
so,
even with tape, we get paint underneath the edges sometimes because you just can't get all the way to that edge all the time.
Or it'll like peel up the paint. That's irritating. But it's okay because that didn't take too long to get it off. Okay.
Hold on.
You want to come?
Having to blow some
You got
of
the
these.
magic spit. Is that what you?
No, there's like paint dust where you've scraped.
Oh yeah. Okay. I think we're almost good there. This is looking gorgeous. Thank you.
All right.
Wait till I show you a picture of it all finished with all the edges painted.
Where's that transfer?
Okay, let's get started on the transfer. So we're gonna be using
We'll pull back a little
the
bit.
Flora I can never say it. Parasiensis.
Parasiensis, I think is how you
yeah.
say it. I'm not 100%.
It's an IOD transfer, also available at jamirayvintage.com. Or if you're local, you can come by the shop and pick it up. We carry these products at Molly's. Zeb's gonna work on that. Do you want me to
Finish golden ticketing
finish
it?
golden ticketing it?
I think we're close. You can, it's dry enough. You could get some golden ticket brushed on there.
Just want to make sure that you really got to make sure there's like no dust or else it will not stick.
Yep.
And where we're not sealing it, adhesion is the most important thing. The good news is that they stick really well to mirrors.
This is probably Jamie's favorite transfer, I think.
It is my favorite transfer.
Okay, which is the top? Like, where's the hanger at?
Hold on, we're on the wrong video. Where's
Oh.
the top? Does it have a hanger?
Yeah, it's right here to hang
Oh, okay.
vertically.
So we're gonna have to move it anyways. We'll just put a French cleat on it.
Yep.
If you don't know what a French cleat is, they sell them on Amazon or at your local hardware store. So
Okay,
we're gonna need to cut it up because I want to put these along this side here. So cut out this one and maybe this one, and so we can fill in all that gap. Does that make sense? That's not gonna be able to golden ticket there. We got like lots of pain there.
All right, so which one did you want cut out?
What?
Which ones did you want cut out?
So cut out this one and then this one. And
Okay.
cut out the words too, and we'll move that over here. So we can take up, I want to fill the whole space.
All right, so careful with the backer because it is not stuck to your transfer. They've done that so that they can get the edge really nice and close so you don't have a lot of the sticky backing hanging over the edge of the actual color of the transfer.
Yeah, what I'm going through is I'm just kind of pulling out the excess paint that's pooling up here. And for whatever reason, on these flat surface areas, it didn't cover as well because it was really shiny. Shiny surfaces usually take a few coats, so I'll just come back and fix it.
Okay, so that piece will be saved.
Okay.
And then,
That side's
This
pretty
one.
dry. You put that over there.
yeah, you can go the ticket on that side.
This is so fun. I had no idea exactly what this was gonna look like. So you guys are kind of joining us on the creative process. We do that a lot. My mother-in-law asked us yesterday, what are you gonna do for Waste Not Wednesday? And I'm like, I don't know.
This week,
When-
the editorial calendar is out the window.
Wednesday mornings, a lot of times I just stand in the garage with all my junk until something talks to me. I also did go on Pinterest and saw some fun mirrors. Now, if this was like a mirror that you would see in Anthropologie, it would probably all be the gold color instead of the two-tone, so we did switch that up a little bit. And I don't think I've ever seen an Anthropologie mirror with a transfer, but if they had them, they'd use them. They probably just don't know how cool they are.
Okay.
Make sure this flower covers that damage there.
So
Please.
it'll
You
most.
want to show them that damage so they can see what we're covering?
Yeah.
Like a little black
I'll bring
spot.
it
We'll
up
take you in
close.
for field trip.
So it's got something. It probably got moved at some point, and something rubbed up against the mirror. And we tried magic eraser. We tried a bunch of different ways to clean that, and just wasn't happening. It's like scratched into the top part of the glass. So we got to cover it up. All right, this is going to be tricky now that we've cut this.
This would also be really pretty if you wanted a chippier look if you used milk paint.
So I'm not going to worry about cutting the bottom of these, Jamie. I don't think I'm going to worry about cutting the
You're just
bottom
gonna
of those
peel them
off. Yeah, just because they're not going to, they're like the bottom of leaves
Well, why
and
don't you
stuff.
just have me just razor blade it?
Well, I guess I could
Yeah.
cut it. Here, I'll cut it.
That way we're not.
I just want it to go all the way to the edge.
I love the grid system because it makes it really easy to cut. But you got to do it before. Here, I'll hold this down. You got to do it before you use it because once it's on the mirror, it's stuck. You got to commit. You can also take this golden ticket and tint it a little bit by adding some of the DIY paint to it, and you can create different patinas. I know Dion from the Turquoise Iris, if you don't follow her, she has added like kissing booth and things and created coppers and whatnot with the golden ticket. You can really play and have fun with it. And I've taken it and added it to paint with clear liquid patina and made a translucent paint. similar to like a unicorn spit, I guess. I've never used unicorn spit, but that's what I heard. It's like, I painted it at Debbie's house on my last live with her. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna need your help on
Okay, I'll
this.
put this
Can
down.
you, the backing's just gonna fall away, and then I need you to stand on that other end there
All right.
and hold those little legs.
Teamwork is dream work, right? Dreamwork, teamwork. Make sure it's
Pull,
centered.
pull yours down that way and I'll pull it to the top.
Oh,
Like, pull it past the mirror.
I need 3 hands though.
I know, I see that. Here, hang on.
All right.
Oh, oh,
Okay. Well,
we're not centered though is the
it
problem.
sticks so well, so you gotta be careful. Wait till you're centered, and then I'll pull my edges. Okay, the O needs to come over a little. It needs to go right underneath that leaf. That's kind of the middle of the transfer.
Okay, sure, we'll
Hold
call
on,
it
hold on,
that.
hold on, hold on. Here, I'm gonna just. There we go.
All right, we're on. It is what it is.
We're committed now. Yeah,
Okay.
the O is the middle of the transfer. Maybe find the middle of the transfer before you get started. All right. We got 1 minute. It's okay. Orange Theory is only like 10 minutes away. I'll just change real quick into my spandex, although I hope I have something clean to wear. Yesterday I was wearing my yoga pants, but I've lost 12 pounds, and so my yoga pants are a little big, and they were falling off. So like every 30 seconds on the treadmill, I was pulling up my pants. It was comical. It kind of was par for the course for yesterday. That's kind of how my whole day went. I was pulling my pants up. Similar situations.
So the key on these, whether you're putting them on a mirror or on a piece of furniture, you want it to be as dust-free as it can possibly get. And we found that if we seal them with a liquid, like we're doing it on a dresser, if we seal the paint with a liquid top coat, we get better results. It's easier to get the transfer off.
Yeah, we don't usually seal it with a clear wax. We have before. But you have to use something that's not harsh. So all the products we sell, the Sweet Pickins top coat or the Big Top, they work great. Where you're going to have a problem is if you're using something that's not all natural. Sometimes they can cause adhesion issues. So.
Yeah, or they'll go on and then like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, people will get like a little peeling up.
Also, make sure if you're putting them on top of a painted surface that your paint is dry. That's another common problem. And if you live somewhere where it's humid, you might want to wait 48 hours. We live where it's very, very dry. Utah is dry. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna. Okay, how to join our newsletter. The newsletter is through JamiRayVintage.com. You just put in your email and you can have our newsletter. You can actually save 10% on everything but DIY paint one time when you sign up for a newsletter. So if you haven't, for sure go to our website, or you can email Caitlin if you can't find it. And then if you like our book chapters that we're writing, you need to order join channel membership. There's a join button next to the subscribe. You also get a printable, which we just had a really fun barn printable, and then we do a couple extra videos, and you get the fun emojis. Lots of people that are in our channel membership are in the business, but there's also a lot of channel members that just love the extra book chapters and information that we put out there. And the printables, because it's $5
The extra
a month.
videos are a little more behind the scenes, a little more candid.
We try to give a lot with our channel membership, so if there's a part that you're not interested in, there's something else that we offer that maybe you are interested in. Yes, Harrington, are you good? Harrington's in the office putting away boxes and boxes of DIY paint. We just ordered a huge, ginormous order. How are you doing over there?
I'm cruising along. It's going really well on this mirror.
I'm gonna just keep golden ticketing while you do that.
We're gonna get it done, I think.
Tammy says, I'm never sure what to do with the printables. Tammy, just find yourself a cool frame, paint it up, throw it in. Or you can watch our video we did with the lemon one where we made our own frame. That one was really fun.
Yep.
I've also been thinking about blowing them up because they're high res and doing a decoupage. I know a lot of people have been asking about decoupage because they can't afford the transfers, and it's another way to put something fun on a piece of furniture. So we'll definitely do that here in a little bit. We got to find the perfect dresser. You know, maybe that cedar chest that we have. Would that be good for decoupage? Because it's kind of plain. Didn't cost a lot of money, so if I screw it up, won't feel bad.
Well, it needs a lot of help too.
It's kind of boring. It needs a lot of love, yeah. And it's okay with this golden ticket if you have highs and lows, meaning some areas are a little bit more golden ticketed than others. Because if you look at old frames, they are never perfect. You can see, look, there's so much still left in here. I'm not hardly using anything for this. Oh, is that, sorry, I gotta get this before I forget. There's like this little
You're good.
spot here.
I'm just trying to get my wave going and ride it.
Oh, yes. Did you talk to him about riding the wave?
I haven't. Tell them about it.
Okay, so on this transfer, you'll hear it start to pop. And on the bigger pieces, you just take the stick and you just pull it and use the stick. See how it's coming off real quick? That's called riding the wave. Kind of like surfing where you get on the wave and then you just go with it. That's the easiest way to get these off. The words are probably the most difficult.
Yeah, because you don't get big waves on a leaf. Because they're all individual.
I'm gonna have to come and read all these comments because people are laughing and stuff, and I'm missing them all. My phone's too small to read them. Have you stenciled tile, and what type of paint sealer would you use? I have not, but if you go to Home Depot or your local hardware store and you pick up a water-based floor sealer, that would work good. If you have a super shiny tile, I would suggest lightly sanding it to give your paint some adhesion. You could totally use a stencil, or like the IOD Cubano stamp is a tile stamp. And then you could use DIY paint, let that dry, and then use a water-based sealer and do about 4 coats, and that should protect it. And then the biggest key is going to be, do not mop that floor for probably a week, and be very careful for about the first month, allowing that sealer, oh, I don't know what you got here, that's a weird transfer portion. We didn't want that there. We'll just take it off.
Maybe it was from like
Yeah,
something I
from
cut
what we
off.
That happens. There's like a piece of mold on here. Clay. I have decoupage tiles with napkins that look like tiles. That is smart, because that probably isn't super complicated. You could do a lot right away. I don't know how the napkins would hold up on a floor, but I bet if you sealed them well enough, you could. I've heard about people doing paper bags on a floor and sealing it. This would be the perfect mirror for above a bed. That's what Nicole Lewis said. It would look pretty above a bed because it's nice and wide. It would also look good over a fireplace, or a faux mantle, like a big shelf. All right, we're almost done here. I'm not going to do this side because it's still wet.
Okay. Well, I'm
I
thinking
might come
about
across and do some in this portion
in a couple
here.
minutes here, we'll have maybe less than a minute.
Indy says she's waiting for the big reveal.
It's coming. The big reveal is almost
We
here.
gotta add 2 more
Oh, well,
flowers.
we might show them before that so that they can go.
Oh, where's
So
the
that
one
you
she
can
cut
go.
off?
They're over there, right there.
In my hands? Oh. All right. Here's one. Didn't you do 2?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
other one's right here.
Okay, I'm gonna get started on this other one here. Can you flip that up for a second?
Okay.
I'm just filling in the gap with the pieces that we cut off. Teamwork here. All right, guys,
Home stretch.
get in there.
I got like a little bit of the O to do.
You got all the words. That's the hard part. This did have a little bit of words, but.
All right.
Ta-da! All right, do that other flower and then we'll be all the way done.
Then we'll show them.
I love cutting them up though to make them fit. It's something that I didn't do when I first started using them, but I've noticed it makes a big difference to making it look custom. All right. So all said and done, because it transfers $30, we probably are into this about $50, $60 maybe on the high end. and I'll sell it for at least 125, but I may ask more. I might ask 145 because this is gorgeous. Because I would ask 100 for like a simple one, but this is really good. We're gonna flip this up here as soon as that's done with that portion, so you guys can see it. And then I'll get a picture of it later today and I'll post it on Instagram and Facebook. So if you haven't followed me on those platforms, it's just Jami Ray Vintage on Facebook and Instagram. Oh, do you need help?
No, it's just this one's not coming off like I want it to. These little flowers are being stubborn. They're coming.
Stingy.
They're just not.
All right.
There's no way to ride like I want.
I'll just do this.
Drum roll. Okay, it's off.
All right. Ta-da! Here, pull that camera back so they can see the full.
Can you see it? Is it all in there?
You can see that our damage that was right here on the mirror was completely covered up. So the transfer is a great way to save a mirror that otherwise would be garbage. So.
All right, guys, we have got to take off. We got other things.
I gotta go work out. So I love you. Be sure to subscribe. Go to JamiRayVintage.com for the products we used today. If you're watching the replay, Zeb's gonna link everything below for you to make it easy to shop. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll have another DIY. Friday we'll get the vlog up, and then Saturday we'll be live with our thrift haul.
And if we hear about the house, we'll for sure let you know.
We'll let you know.
All right, guys, catch you later.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.